Hey everyone, this is Angie Norris. Welcome into my YouTube channel, Tar Heel Thrifts for You. I live in North Carolina, which is the Tar Heel state, and I started this YouTube channel a while back. I may eventually change the name of it, but for right now, it's Tar Heel Thrifts for You, and I am just beginning to start to do some book reviews. I am not a professional. I have just really begun to do this. I've watched lots of other people give book reviews. And so I'm going to give you my spin on a recent audiobook that I listened to in the month of October. And the name of the book is The Tattooist of Auschwitz. This is what the cover looks like. I don't have the physical book because I read it or listened to it on audiobook. This book is set in during World War II, and it is about a young man named Lale Sokolov, who is a Jewish man from Slovakia, and he is imprisoned in the German concentration camp of Auschwitz. So that's the name of the book, The Tattooist of Auschwitz. Goodreads actually calls this book a historical fiction genre. But I would not classify this as a historical fiction. The author records an author's note on the audiobook and writes in the book that this was a real person. This is a real story. And she is telling this man's story. She sat with him for 3 years, the last 3 years that he was alive, to get his entire story down. And then she worked with his son after he died to finish the story and publish the book. So it's not an autobiography, but I would classify it as a biography. Now, I'm just going to be very upfront with you guys. Years ago, and again last year, I read The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom, which is a first-person autobiography of Corrie ten Boom's story of her imprisonment in a German concentration camp and just the horrific things that she went through. After reading her book and reading this book, I felt like Heather Morris, the author of The Tattooist of Auschwitz, this book that we're talking about now, did not do as well of a job of telling the story of Lale. I think her writing was very simplistic. It was not descriptive. It was just very simple sentences, and I just felt like there was so much more that she could have gone into to describe and give people an idea of what it was like. I mean, granted, it's not something that you want to know what it's like, but I do think from an educational standpoint, she missed the boat on this one. So, you know, I would give The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom a 5-star out of 5 rating. This book, I would give a 3-star rating. The subject matter, as I said, is emotional, but I just don't think that Heather Morris's writing was that great. This is my opinion. But it does tell the story of how he is sent away to this German concentration camp. When he arrives, the German soldiers discover that he does speak several languages fluently, and so therefore they give him the job of being the tattooist. And so he is the person that tattoos your prisoner number on your arm when you would come into the German concentration camp. And so therefore, this particular position gives him a little bit of prestige. He does not have to live in the huge barracks with the other prisoners where they sleep 4 people to a bed. He has his own room. And so you will hear him say, or he tells his story to Heather, that he did what he had to do to survive and live. And he did meet a young woman while he was in the concentration camp. Her name is Gita, And even though they are in a concentration camp, they do fall in love. So it's a little bit of a romance as well. But once again, I would recommend that you read it if you've never read anything about the World War II German concentration camps and how horrific that period of history was. But I would also highly recommend that you read The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. And that's my take on the Tattooist of Auschwitz. Y'all have a great night.